Are you brave enough to see the truth of every situation? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sylvia Salo and I help light workers and starseeds to remember who they are. And I would like to talk about living in your truth. Be willing to see the truth no matter what it is. Because in my opinion, this is one of the highest spiritual practices, because this reality is woven with all kinds of illusions and projections. And it's a part of our spiritual maturity and spiritually growing up to be able to discern information. If we don't discern information, we don't want to see the truth. We don't want to know who we are. We want to stay unconscious. And when we stay unconscious, there is no progress, there is no evolution for the soul. The soul can evolve only in a certain degree. And if we don't want to see the truth, it will be bouncing against the ceiling. And so to remove that ceiling and create more space, we have to detach our mind from the illusions of this reality. And yes, it means that we have to be courageous. It's not easy to see the truth, because being unconscious is so much simpler. When we are unconscious, we don't have to deal with all kinds of things. There is something we don't like, no problem, we can hide and run away from it. There is some aspect we don't want to see in ourselves, no problem, we can take it and project it onto somebody else, or create some challenging situations. Because we don't want to see it in us, but we can see it externally, that's okay, right? This is what the mind does, because it's essentially running away from itself. It's not willing to see itself, because there are so many other things that it's so much easier to attach to. It's so much easier to create all kinds of illusions. So we don't have to ever come back to the truth, but the truth liberates. It liberates your essence from this reality. Because when the mind is not attached to anything, when the mind is truly willing to wake up and be conscious in every aspect, then it's not being attached to anything and it can start ascending. So for instance, I don't know, this just came to my mind, when sometimes when people die, they don't transition, they stay in the lower astral realm, and they might be attached to this reality, they may be attached to their old personality or to the house that they owned or to certain relationships, and they don't want to let go. There are all kinds of attachments, and that's why part of their energy, it's not a soul, I want to say, it's not a soul, but part of their energy comes back here, and this is what we experience as ghosts, right? This is just one example how the mind can get so attached to this reality. And that's why we have to be willing to be all the time open. In fact, the most beautiful prayer that you can have, that you can hold within your heart, is to always see the truth, no matter what the truth is. Since I was little, I've been always thinking, I don't really care, what is what, I just want to see the truth. In my relationships, in my friendships, in my business relationships, I just want to hear the things the way they are. And if someone is not telling me the truth, I'm like, I'm not going there with you. I'm not going into some illusions, projections. Thank you very much. Because those projections and illusions will ultimately own you. They will suck you into their mirror realities. And it will be more difficult to liberate the soul from this reality. And so, if this speaks to you, you can set the intention to always see the truth, no matter what it is. When you are open and willing to see the truth, you realize it doesn't matter what's going on. You don't have to be attached to anything. It doesn't mean that you don't have preferences and that you are not expressing your deepest soul's desires. Of course you do. But you always stay honest and truthful to yourself. Another aspect of this spiritual practice of being willing to see the truth is to see the truth within us and to act in alignment with our inner truth. This perhaps is the most difficult aspect, because on the surface level we may think, oh, of course I am truthful to myself, of course I want this, I want that, I am this kind of person, and so on. But if you go deeper, you may find out that it's not true. You may find out that your mind has been protecting you by creating layers of illusions and misinformation so that you don't have to feel the truth within you. This is also one of the reasons why it's difficult for people to make decisions, because they don't want to go into that knowing. They are making decisions with the mind, and it can bring you some results, but it's completely different if you are in the knowing, which can be accessed through the heart. And I'm running monthly classes, and one of the classes that we had in February was on the topic of making decisions with the heart. And I decided to leave that replay on my website. If you want, you can watch the whole workshop. But back to the topic, when you know what you want, when you know who you are, when you know your truth, no one can manipulate you. There is no discussion, there are no doubts, there is such clarity. So, for instance, if you are in a relationship where you are not happy, but actually it's a good relationship and you feel comfortable, you've been together for a long time, it's not that bad, and so on, and the mind keeps talking and talking, but deep down you know it's not really aligned. Once you access that knowing, once you are brave enough to see your inner truth, there is no going back. You can't go back to the illusion anymore. And this is what creates masters. Masters are willing to see the truth. They are willing to speak their truth. They are willing to have those uncomfortable conversations when necessary. They are willing to go after what is real instead of what is easy and simple and unconscious and takes them just further away from their highest potential. Today I invite you to look in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth of who you are, what you want. Tell yourself the truth about the situations that were unclear, that were confusing. Speak your truth. It will set you free. This is truly the most liberating frequency you can run on in the 3D, living in alignment with your truth. So may this always be your prayer. And please let me know in the comments below if you are committing to see the truth. The truth in external situations, your inner truth. Are you committing to the truth? If so, please let me know, put in yes or smiley or something. Let me know if you do. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.